Hello, everyone, and welcome to the March 2015 Metagame Book Club. So welcome back. So first off, as always, we would like to thank everyone who's helping us out. So first off, thank you for those from the ISTE Games and Simulations Network who are helping us out, as well as Inevitable Instructors. Woohoo! So we have our group back to help us navigate the multiplayer classroom. So today we have myself, I'm Chris. We also have Kay. We also have Cam, who's really interested in that Troll Mill book.
Pardon me reading during the presentation.
And we also have Tanya as well.
Hi.
Okay, next up is Kay. She's going to talk a little bit more about the book club.
Okay, so we're going to have the book club running from March 21st today, and then it's going to be going into April 12th. So we're going to basically have about 3 weeks worth of the book club. And most of the discussion is going to actually happen in our Google Plus community. And this is track 2, so it's a multiplayer classroom. So for track 2, we are going to have a hangout on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern time each week, so that you can go ahead, and we can talk about it and discuss it. We do have some people scheduled, but we will be asking if other people want to take slots in the hangout. Now, for the Metagame book club, how to get started. Let's tell you a little bit about this. First of all, go ahead and join the Metagame Google Plus community, and I will quickly screen share so that you guys can go ahead and see that. And we've had a lot of people coming and doing introductions, and that's really cool. So go ahead, and we just have some basic questions for you. And the questions that we have for you: why are you taking the Metagame Book Club? What do you hope to get out of it? You know, the usual things that you'd see in any kind of online class or any kind of discussion forum that was starting to get to know everybody. Now, so you go ahead, you post your intro, and then you go to the book club Google site, and that's where everything is going to be listed for the readings. And we're going to be sticking pretty close to the book, but we're going to have a couple additional articles, and then we might have some videos up there. And the cool thing about it is the author of the book just this week on Wednesday did a webinar with EdWeb, and we have the link to that. So if you want to, you can go ahead and you can watch that. And that's him explaining. He doesn't focus just on the book, but basically his concept of the multiplayer classroom. And I know for some people, this concept is going to be really familiar because you might be playing games, and then some of you might be looking at gamification, and you'll see that the multiplayer classroom kind of comes down in the middle of this. As far as social media, we are asking you to go ahead and post things like what Twitter do you use, what other social media, so that we can go ahead and follow people, and we can, you know, so that we can also correspond through that. And we'll be using the metagame hashtag, and then of course we'd always use the hashtag GBL.
So as Kay mentioned, we're using the Multiplayer Classroom by Lee Sheldon. So here's a picture of the book in case you haven't yet seen it. It is available as an ebook as well, so you can get it on multiple formats. So some things to know before you start reading. Now, one of the things is when he calls it the Multiplayer Classroom, what he's referring to is the massively multiplayer online games. So these are games that you have lots and lots of people who are all online in the same space, working on similar items. So examples of these MMOs are EVE Online. They have roughly 500,000 subscribers in 2013. World of Warcraft is actually a bit bigger right now than that, but at the time they pulled the numbers, so this is actually in, I think, 2013, they were up to 7.4 million subscribers. And Minecraft has over 100 million registered users. Now, each of these are a little different because subscribers are paying a monthly fee, whereas in Minecraft, it's a one-time fee so far. Roughly, the other thing that Minecraft looks at is they convert roughly 14.3% of their users into paying customers. So these are all large groups. And so what happens is here on my screen is an example of an MMO. This is World of Warcraft. And what you see here is one of the basics of gaming. What you have here is we have someone with a question mark over their head. And so this question mark indicates that I have something to turn in. So I go ahead and I will click on this person, and you see that gives you the name of the quest. It gives you some description, and it says this is what I get from turning in this quest. So I'm all done. I go ahead and complete the quest. Yay! Oh, look, there's more. So what happens you see here is a lot of these massively multiplayer games is that it's based on what's called questing. And questing is a piece that lets you pick up quests, go out and do them, turn them in. You can see here in the quest, it gives you the name of the quest. It tells you a description. It gives you the objective. And it goes ahead and tells you what you're going to get if you complete this quest. So if you want to, you can accept or decline. So I'll go ahead and accept. And so you saw that they had a little exclamation point over top of their head, and that's an indicator that means there is a quest to go ahead and pick up. So if I turn around, hey, look, there's another one. It's a little awkward scenario here. This is a horde character basically holding an alliance dwarf up. You can see here he has a exclamation point over his head. He also has a quest for me as well. So you can pick up different quest pieces here. So I can pick that up and see that. The other thing that MMOs have going for them is they're huge environments. So look here, you can see on this map, there's obviously some other quests I can turn in. There's different objectives that are all buried throughout here. There's also different quest areas, so it sort of shows me where I need to go to complete a quest that I have. You can see here are some quests that I have outstanding that I still need to finish. So it's really easy for me to see what I need to do. And so the other piece of these MMOs is that there's a lot of people in here. That's why it's called multiplayer, massively multiplayer. There's a lot of people in here. And so what happens is these games do a really good job of offering you multiple ways to play. You can do what I'm doing right here, which is just running around by myself, and that's what we call soloing. And so there's different pieces of the game that are open to soloers, but a lot of the game requires collaboration. It requires collaboration between players. So typically you'll see different quests that may require 3 players. You'll have to work with groups. Typically your normal size group is 5. But you can also get groups up to 40 people or more, depending on when you start getting into some of what they're called world bosses, or these very, very big, large monsters that takes a lot of players to coordinate and work together to get it done. Some other pieces you see here is that down here at the bottom, another ubiquitous thing coming from MMOs and any sort of game is an experience bar. So you can see there's a visualization. There's this blue bar down here at the bottom. When I mouse over top of it, you see it gives me, I'm 64% of the way to the next level. You can also see the little box that pops up here in the bottom right-hand corner that says I'm at 508 of 807 when it comes to how many hundreds of thousands of points I have left to do. So I'm making my way towards the next level. And so really that's the other piece to gaming, is that you start off with a very low level character, and then you spend a lot of time building that level, that character up, and building up their skills and building up their proficiencies and building up your competency playing the character. And then basically you do that so once you reach max level, or maybe you graduate, you go ahead and you can use that for what's called endgame content, which is really sort of the application of where you're really doing and working in coordination and spending a lot of time focusing on optimizing what you're doing. So this is one of the things that you'll read about in the book. What the author really is focused on is really introducing gaming and gamification from the standpoint. So basically, the understanding is his audience would be someone who may be familiar with games, but quite honestly, he has a lot in there that if you're not familiar with games, you are going to be able to easily follow. It's a really nice book. It walks you through very carefully. It's very well scaffolded. To get you up to speed rather quickly. So the first couple of chapters will go over some of the stuff we talked about right now, but then it'll sort of pick up speed and start seeing of how Lee Sheldon implemented the multiplayer type of game into his classroom. And you can definitely see how he does that in the traditional format. And for those of you that aren't in the traditional format, you can easily extrapolate what's going on there. So that's one of the reasons why we chose it. So next up, we have Grid.
Okay, and I'm going to talk a little bit about your week 1 readings. And on my screen, excuse me, I do have the table of contents for the first few levels, and Lee Sheldon doesn't call them chapters, he calls them levels, so it's a game-based term. And you can see here what the names of those levels are, and those are the chapters that you'll be reading for the first week, pages 1 through 92.
So what we wanted to do was use some of the game elements that Chris was talking about they're common in these multiplayer games in our book club. So to do that, we're using the tool of Chore Wars, and you can sign up for our party of adventurers at this tinyurl.com/mgadventure, and that will be posted in the Google community in case you miss it here. With information about joining Chore Wars. I'm sharing my screen now, so when you go to that tiny URL, it will have you create a character to join our metagame guild. And then once you have created your character, you'll be a member of our party, one of the brave adventurers of the metagame guild. And as a member of our party, you can go to the Adventures tab and see the different adventures that you could claim. Now, many of you watching this have already completed some of these adventures and can click on the Claim This button on the right-hand side. For instance, joining the Google Plus community, many of you have probably already done. And that will award you some experience points. You'll get a random amount of gold pieces. You may even get some treasure, like a gold star or badge of honor. You may also, as you continue in these adventures, run into some monsters like a skeptical skeleton or the gremlin of, goodness, I forget what it is, the gremlin of technical difficulties. So you have to look out for those monsters. This Chore Wars tool was originally designed to help people who share a communal space like families or coworkers work on their chores, but it's very flexible, as you will see. So we hope you will join our party. The more the merrier, right? Also, when you are doing your settings for your character, at the very bottom, there's a place for you to choose your privacy level, and you are welcome to put it on just the party. However, if you have your setting on everyone, then your adventures will show up on the RSS feed that we have on the metagame site. And right now, we only see what Cam the Crafty has done, and that's not okay. We need everyone to share so we can keep track of all these great adventures that we're having. So that is the Chore Wars part. We hope that you will join that bit. And thank you for watching. We look forward to discussing the multiplayer classroom with you.